Welcome back, folks. Today we are coming to you from South Carolina. I just took the super slab about an hour and a half south of my family, north of Charlotte area. So we are going to hop on the hog and do a little bit of riding. The goal here is going to be to hit some new roads we've never hit before. Despite having family in North Carolina, I've done pretty minimal amount of riding in South Carolina. So we are going to change that today. I've found throughout the years that, I like riding motorcycles on the same roads too, don't get me wrong. And I love going to the mountains and doing the twisties, but just like riding in new areas you've never seen, even if the roads aren't anything amazing, can just be a lot of fun. It's just like, it goes from being a riding like the mechanics of the bike ride. It goes from being that to being more of like the bike itself, but just an adventure, just in general. And you can still do something similar in your car even, but I don't know, I just find it fun being on a motorcycle, going somewhere new, and just like seeing whatever there is to see, in that new area. So, and sometimes you go places and they're duds, right? There's nothing going on, geographically or attractions wise or whatever, but I'm out here in like kind of I'm south of Spartanburg basically, and it's pretty flat here. Interesting how much industry is out here, and this is like kind of the middle of nowhere, but like look at that giant ass building and the big thing up here too. Like there's a fair amount of industry. That railroad track is gonna be bumpy. Yeah, this might actually be its own company. Chester Fiber Plant. Glass fiber plant. Interesting. Alright, we are coming up on a road called Ashford Road. I think it's going to be a decent starting point. And then we're going to get into the... what's the name of the national forest? I gotta look it up because I don't remember now. But there's a national forest we're going to be entering, and hopefully that'll have some decent roads being a national forest. I'm a little nervous that it's not going to be hilly enough to be windy, but they looked kind of windy on a map, so we're going to find out. And it's all good, man. We're discovering stuff, so it doesn't really matter. There are so many log trucks and associated logging type situations going on over here. Kind of interesting. All right, this is Ashford Road. Starting off good with a junkyard. Love to see it. Love me a good junkyard. Actually, that is not a junkyard. That is an auto repair shop. It just looks like a junkyard. Also love that. So we're going to see what we discover down here. I put my little GPS pin kind of at the center of this road, and we'll just start driving. So, South Carolina. What are my thoughts of this state? Well, it's a little flat for my liking. However, if you get like north of Greenville, east of where we are right now, it gets a little bit more hilly. So it's really not too bad out there. But more importantly than it being flat, it's like super swampy. You get that, and Georgia's the same way, North Florida's the same way. You just got those swampy flatlands and not a lot of usable. You got farm fields and stuff, and people have like, made irrigation and kind of dried up fields to use for farming and whatnot, but it's just a very old school agrarian type, geography. And there has been a lot of industry in the last however many years, 30 years, that have come into these, the New South, right? Have you ever heard that term before? So there's actually a decent amount of jobs and stuff, I feel like, even in the more rural areas and some of the more rural areas, as long as you're semi-close to a bigger city. But it's a little bit of a different way of life. It's gonna be more your typical southern lifestyle, not your like mountainy Virginia, North Carolina, South PA, Maryland lifestyle, right? That's kind of its own thing. And North Carolina gets sort of similar as you go east as well. It's just that whole kind of eastern band of the coast. It's just that it's old school, man. It's the old school South. It's really fun to come visit, travel around and see what we can see. Not putting it down. And I'm really curious to see if there's anything I stumble upon that maybe changes my mind on that. I think there's some old money in South Carolina for sure, and in Georgia. So for example, obviously you go to the coast, but like Hilton Head Island, and then like St. Simon's Island, and Georgia, you know, a lot of wealth out that way. Those are right next to each other, right on the border, basically. So there's a lot of money and wealth out that way. And no, I think there's some wealth in Greenville and Spartanburg, this way as well. You know, people have summer homes out that way, even if you live down here. So just a lot of different, you know, as with any state, right? You've got your patches, and you've got really poor areas as well. One thing I've always noticed about South Carolina, taxes are pretty low, which is great, but the road quality is also pretty low. And I'm not saying that the two are necessarily directly related, but it does make you wonder, because some of the bumpier roads I've ever been on in my life have been in South Carolina. This particular road's not too bad, but I don't know, I've just been on some bumpy roads here. So this is a perfect example of what I was just saying. I mean, these trees are burned down probably for you know, wildfire prevention or whatever, but like this is already getting more hilly, a little bit more windy. So just when you think you've figured an area out or make an assumption, it proves you wrong, and that's the whole point of doing this. This is a nice backcountry road, a little bumpy, but my bike's also pretty stiff suspension, which definitely doesn't help. But just stumbled on this super cool old church. Kind of looks like they might still use it, so I'm not gonna stick around and go poke around. Normally I'd go walk around the building and see what I think, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like they might do services here, so just in case, I'm in the middle of nowhere, South Carolina. I'm not trying to take anybody off, so we're gonna just go about our merry way here. I just stopped in because it looked cool and I wanted to check the map. Yeah, they do. Second Sunday at 11 a.m. So they must do like one service a month in there or something. There was a couple, like, there was a church down some like dirt road back there, and you couldn't even see the building, it was so far in. So it's some real small town church type stuff. And I mean, they might be great people, but I gotta be honest with you, sometimes you get these like really, really super small town churches, and they're a little cult-like, not gonna lie. So I just don't want to find out if they're super chill or if they're a cult. So we're gonna keep moving. One thing that's always amazed me about these rural areas, and I've noticed this in a bunch of states, but you'll have like very modest normal homes, and then you'll have like really nice like mansions. This isn't a mansion per se, but like that's a super nice house. And then like 2 houses away, you know, there might be a trailer or a giant house. Like, it's just, you never know. You're out here in the middle of nowhere, and like the diversity of income level is, or debt level, I guess, could be. But, you know, the diversity and the size of houses and cars and everything people have is very, very different. It's very interesting. I've noticed that in a lot of places in the country. Oh. Quite the police force on their property over there. That's interesting. Wonder what that's all about. Seems like all like forest ranger types. I don't know, man. Interesting. You know what's kind of funny? This area almost reminds me a little bit of like Middle Virginia. Like, we're kind of in that hill country. It's farmy, it's still red dirt. It's a little more piney, obviously, because you're further south, but it kind of feels like Middle Virginia. And you figure we're 300-400 miles away, 300-400 miles away from Middle Virginia, probably, so it's not like we're that close to it, but yeah, that's just kind of how it feels. So I've seen this a lot down here, where they do a bunch of land clearing, and I don't know if it's logging, or if it's like, because like it doesn't seem like they're developing it for houses, and it doesn't seem like it's big enough trees to be logging. So I don't really know what the deal is, what the purpose is, but I have seen that here a lot of times before. Maybe, again, maybe it's wildfire. Not really sure. Let me know in the comments if you know. Got some nice scenery here if you look real close through the trees. That's pretty cool. You kind of see the hill country a little bit. It's, these roads are pretty windy, pretty good actually. Some nice kind of power cruising through. 60, 70 mile an hour, just doing your thing. Speed limit's 55 most places, so it works out pretty good. In South Carolina, I'm gonna try to look for a little bit of food. I also need some gas, and I just kind of want to take a little bit of a break because it's been quite a few miles. And then we'll kind of start heading toward home. Clinton's pretty far from where I started, so we're gonna have a hike, but we'll get her done. Not a big deal. All right, we're gonna get some of Clinton's finest 93 octane. We are on reserve here, so we definitely need it. And then we'll find ourselves some food, I think. Get a quick Google on how long it will actually take to get home, just to make sure that we're not way too far out there. But I mean, I guess it is what it is, right? It's gonna take as long as it takes, but we might just choose to take a little bit of slab to get us back closer to home if we need to. But we'll see, TBD on that. Let's fill her up. All right, folks, so the plan is to take the back way to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and then we'll kind of cut back up northeast to get back to where my parents' house is. So that is the plan. Oh, look at that. You can see ourselves in reflection in the mirror there in the window. I want to see Spartanburg just for the heck of it. Shouldn't be too awful busy, I wouldn't imagine. Mid-sized, smaller city, whatever. And yeah, it should be fun. Got a good little break here at the gas station. I kind of wanted to go to Cookout, but there's none in this town, surprisingly. It's a relatively bigger town. I was expecting there to be a Cookout. There isn't, and maybe that's a sign that I shouldn't be eating junk, so we'll go with the protein drink for now, and if I get hungry again... Hey! If I get hungry again later, I can, of course, go get some food from there or wherever else. So we will figure it out. You know, I find it amazing. I've noticed this a lot. So, like, these are some nice buildings and nice houses and whatever. These, like, southern, smaller towns, they're like, maybe this would be a dumb, it sounded smarter in my head, but they're like half super nice a lot of times and half like really run down. And I guess you could say that about a lot of areas, which is why I say it sounds dumb, but I don't know. I feel like in the Northeast, there's more just rundown areas and then nice areas, and they're not so intermixed. Maybe I'm just on freaking crack, but I don't know. That's just like the observation I made riding around today through some of these areas. Kind of interesting, but we are 30 some odd miles from Spartanburg. If I see anything interesting between now and then, I'll show you. If not, we'll catch up with you then. I've been seeing references to upland hunting. Somebody in the comments tell me what upland hunting is. I mean, I'll look it up too, but I've never heard of that term. I mean, is it just like bird hunting? I don't really know what that means. I'm not a big hunter, so maybe I would know what it means if I was in the hunting kind of realm. We are about 18 minutes, 9.2 miles away. That's mostly because of traffic in Spartanburg, I'm sure. We're closer to the Spartanburg city limits than that. But it's funny, you can kind of see the grass is getting a little bit less green. Still blooming on the trees, but yeah, it's getting a little bit more northern-esque, if you will, because we're going north. So always kind of fun to see the different climate zones you pass through and just the slight differences that you'll notice from time to time. Oh, heck yeah. If you're a kid, that's what's up. Must be a friggin' party or something, dude. Heck yeah, let's go. I love those things as a kid. I still play on one as an adult. I don't care. It's friggin' fun, man, sliding down that thing, climbing the jungle gyms. Absolutely. Also, by the way, kind of a scary truck to be behind, the used propane cylinder truck. But, you know, with the hazmat sticker, or flammable sticker, or whatever. We are now in South Spartanburg, Everything's getting nice again. Nice little fence row over here. Well, is that a school or like a college maybe? I don't know. Oh, let's see. South Carolina School of the Deaf and Blind. There you go. But really nice little campus they got there. That's cool. So we're going to do a little Spartanburg tour for the heck of it here and see what we got. And, oh, that's that School of the Deaf and Blind was established in 1849. Pretty darn cool, man. So let's see what we got. I will turn you guys back on when we got some cool old buildings or something. So there's a certain funk in the air, I'm going to be honest with you, but what I really wanted to show you was this Denny's skyscraper. I don't know if you can see that, but it must be like a corporate office, but it's the strangest looking skyscraper I've ever seen. It seems to be the tallest building in this city. Then there's a crane here, which I don't know what they're building that they need a crane yet, because there's nothing there. I guess eventually the building will be that tall, so maybe you just put the crane in to start with. But yeah, kind of some interesting construction stuff going on. I'm kind of curious what this city's all about. I know nothing about Spartanburg. Oh wow, that's a public library headquarters. Look how nice that building is. Kind of bizarre. Wow, yeah. Interesting city so far. I really didn't have any idea what to expect, and I had no preconceived notions of it because I've never really... Ooh, Blues Boulevard. Little bar or something. Let's take a right here on Main. Let's get on Main Street. I might park. Oh, there's your Denny's building. Cool, man. Seems like a nice little Main Street. Wow. Some good little restaurants and stuff, it seems like. Cool little spot, actually. Never in a million years would have thought about Spartanburg, South Carolina, just at all in general. But here we are. There's like a nice little downtown here. Small. I guess I have no idea what the population of Spartanburg is, but I guess maybe the downtown's smaller than I thought it would be. Like no skyscraper-y type situation. That looks like a nice new swanky restaurant. So it's funny. Okay, they use it. I've seen the term upstate now, South Carolina, used multiple times, and that's like a New York State thing, right? Upstate New York. We are very proud of separating ourselves from New York City. I'm curious, are they saying upstate in order to separate themselves from like the coast, or maybe, I don't know, some city in the south? But like Columbia is the only other bigger city, and how south is that really? I don't know. So anyway, let me know in the comments if you know kind of if South Carolina commonly uses the upstate, downstate nomenclature. I haven't really heard that in a lot of other states until I came here, apparently. So I'm learning something new. Ooh, a little C5. Love to see it. Whoa! County Courthouse. Holy crap, that's a nice building. Daggum, son. Look at that beauty. Woo! Very, very nice. There's the rail. So they called, I saw a thing that said Hub City. So I think that maybe Spartanburg was like a rail hub for transportation of goods, I would assume. That is a very vast assumption. Oh, there's some old rail-related buildings possibly over there. That's kind of cool. Probably should have done just any amount of research before I decided to give you guys an impromptu tour, but I didn't even know I was going to wind up in Spartanburg today, so, you know, you don't know what you don't know. I can't say I've ever seen an ambulance sales place. That's kind of neat. Right next to a Dollar General, of course, because they're everywhere. I think this is a tractor-trailer sales place, which I've also really can't say that I've ever seen in my life. So that's also interesting. Yeah, used truck center. Oh, used tractor-trailers. Cool, and box trucks and stuff. Yeah, I can't really say that I've ever seen one of those. I'm sure they're around. I've just never really driven by one. If you look really, really closely, you can see the start of the Appalachian Mountains here in North Carolina. We crossed over the border. We are back in North Carolina. And they just disappeared, but we are getting back into the mountain country, the hill country at least. So that is always fun. And we're gonna just kind of graze the edge of it as we make our turn toward the east. So that should be good. I found my cookout, I think. So we're gonna see if we can get a shake. All right, I put the directions into the cookout. It is really close by, so I gotta stop and get a shake. I'm very excited for this. All right, there it is, baby. I actually had to go way the frig out of my way to get to this place, but you know what? That's okay. We are going to get back on track here right after we get a shake. I could use a little sit time anyway. My booty's hurting a little. Uh-oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh, daggum, son. It's not what I want. Oh, God, what the frig? Are you? Okay. Going all the way around here. There we go. Man, it's getting difficult over here. Struggling right in the All right. Just finished my cookout shake. I'm very, very pleased I got it. However, she did accidentally free the M&Ms. And normally I would just eat something and not be too worried about it if it was slightly wrong. But if I'm gonna house that many calories, I wanted my dang M&Ms. So like a 4-year-old, I went back up to the woman and I said, "Hey, you didn't put no M&Ms in it." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So we had our M&M chocolate shake, just the way I remember it, and I liked it. And all is well. So we're going to proceed on with our ride here. And keep on heading toward my parents' house. We are now starting to get into the mountainous regions here. Got some nice scenery coming up here. Like I said, we're getting into the mountains now, folks. Alright, now we got some nice power cruising roads. Should be a good time. Kind of getting back in the mountains, like I said earlier. Some good scenery, good weather. It's a good day. It's a weird ass intersection. Just found this road called Luckadoo Mountain Road. When I see the word mountain road in the title, it's something we're gonna have to hit. So let's do it. See what she's like. A little bit of crap on the road there. Oh, she's a sharp one, Mr. Grinch. South Mountain Peaks. Don't know what that is. Nice nasty downhill lefty. I'm going slow on these, A, because I'm rusty from winter, and B, I haven't worn these new pegs out yet, so my lead angle's not as good. It's noticeable too, to be honest. But mostly just rusty. And when I'm down south like this and I don't have somebody I'm riding with, I don't want to crash, especially don't want to crash. So I like to take it easy and just have fun. We're here to have fun. This isn't a racetrack. Yeah. Rowdy. Oh man, that 5er is going to be annoying to tow through here. He looks like he's struggling. I wonder if that truck's having an issue. It's going real slow. This looks like a good road also. Whoa, a little sandy. I didn't slip, but I was worried I was going to. Oh boy. Sharp and dirty. Whoa! A little front wheel action there. That's why we went nice and slow around it. That was a crappy tarmac situation. Oh yeah, get her low, power out. Very good, very good. And there's a stop sign. We should probably slow down realistically. That guy might be mad at me for doing that, but he was going literally like 7 miles an hour. Rusty. Well, it's not very smooth. That's okay though. As long as we're safe. Let that hammer run, baby! Oh yeah! On the brakes before the crest. Grab a gear. Nice. That was better. Woo! It's a good little road. It's a long turn. I can see it on the map. Oh, it gets sharper. That was a sketchy downshift, but that's okay. And into the right-hander. Whoa. All right, folks, I am running out of microphone battery. It's been on all day, so I can't complain. I gotta see if there's a way I can get it to turn on with the camera, because otherwise I gotta leave it on because I can't turn it on in my helmet. So that's not really ideal. But with that, we're gonna be doing mostly like transit roads, if you will, back home. I will get some video of any good sites. It may not have audio, you know, TBD, but I'm gonna close this one out. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye, everyone.